ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਬੋਲਾਂਗੇ, ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੋਲਾਂਗੇ। ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਬੋਲਣ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਬੋਲੀ ਸਿੱਖਣੀ। ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੁਣਾਂਗੇ ਬੋਲਾਂਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਬੋਲੀ ਆਉਂਦੀ, ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ। ਇਟਸ ਵੈਰੀ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲਿਸਨ ਕਰੋ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਨੂੰ ਔਰ ਬੋਲੋ, ਪ੍ਰੈਕਟਿਸ ਕਰੋ। ਅਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡੇ ਹੈ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਭਾਟੀਆ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਆਰਮੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੇਮ ਫੋਰਸ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ। ਵੈਲਕਮ ਜੀ।
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing? Wait, sure, go ahead.
I'm going to pass this around. This is just like, it is Korean pictures that you may be training the Gacy Odian from 2015. So you guys can watch.
So, my name is Specialist Bhatia. I'm with US Army Reserves, and as he has already introduced her, she is Mandeep Sikh, and she is Specialist in the US Army too. And we both serving country since 2015 in US Army Reserves component. And we are here today to answer your questions and answers about the military and to interact with you guys.
If anyone have questions, please feel free. If any questions you want to know more about Army, how it operates, how it works, how they like it, you can raise your hand, haath khada karo, and he will take your questions. He and she.
How many wars have you done?
Well, none, I would say, because we're not in war anymore. That was like 15-20 years ago when we had an Iraq war or Afghanistan war, but at this moment, no, we're not in any war. So, as I said, we too have been serving since last 4 years. So, we're not deployed, we have not been to Iraq or Afghanistan or Korea or anywhere, so yeah, no war experience.
It's not all about war. There's like more education. If you want to become a doctor, you can do that in the Army. It's not all about like fighting or wars, but that is part of it too.
So let me ask you guys a question. I'll get back to you, buddy. What do you guys think when you see someone in the uniform? Anyone? Anybody? Or when you see military uniform, Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines?
Do you think they just do the fighting like you play in your games? There are so many other things they need to do. They do like last time we had Captain Tulsi. And he was in he's army. He was working at the back. He's a doctor, right? They need doctors too. You can ask Mr. Patia or Mandeep ko, what else they do? There is no war, okay? Because everybody thinks when they are army men, they are just going to have a better field, shoot people. No. There's some other thing. Mandeep.
Where do the soldier lives?
Where do you live?
Soldiers, not you.
We as a soldier. At our home, barracks, defense.
They got their own areas, designated areas, like we go school, here we come to learn, okay? They got their own areas, special area where all the soldiers, all the army men, they live in those barracks. When they come from their work to meet their families, then they come, like every job, they have to some free time, a vacation, okay? Whenever they go on vacations, they come back and see their family. Otherwise, when they are working, like other people go to their offices, they go to their barracks. Their special homes, they are called barracks.
More questions?
Or anything else?
You had a question.
Hannah was the question before what you asked. It was the question what you asked before. Yeah, so when you see someone in uniform, it means that they're serving in one of the special forces.
Maybe just they want to know the difference between special forces and the regular uniform.
Okay, so Special Forces is a special branch of military services. Like we have Green Beret in the U.S. Army. There is Navy SEAL. Navy SEAL is part of U.S. Navy. And similarly, there are Special Forces component in the Air Force and the Marine. So Special Forces are there to perform special operations. And they're highly trained soldiers. Like after getting commissioned or after getting enlisted, they go through a year-and-a-half long training, which is other than what we regularly do. And yeah, and they have to learn one foreign language. That's part of the training too. So depending what language you want to learn, like Arabic, Persian, or any other language from African country, you need to learn that too to become a Special Forces soldier.
What do you like serve for in the army? Like,
So what I do, so basically my job is like whenever we go on a mission or any kind of training, I make sure we have all the supplies, be it food, water, whatever anyone's need, clothing. So basically I order all this stuff for my whole unit, which is like about 100 people we have, over 100 people, so I just make sure everyone has everything.
I think I know what you are. Are you a doctor?
I'm not a doctor, but you can call me. I'm a combat medic. So as a medic, as you can see, I have a medical patch on my arm. So we are like a level 1 support, medical support in the war zone. So when we have any casualty in the war zone, we are the first person to go ahead and we help our wounded soldiers. So yeah, and we make sure that person survives and he can rescue, airlifted, dust off. Dust off is a term we use to rescue any wounded soldiers. So he can be taken to a hospital and he gets the care and his life can be saved. So as you ask that question, I have something interesting to show you. Does anyone know what is this? You do?
I forgot.
Forgot?
I forgot.
Okay. This thing is like a saber tool. This is called Tourniquet. And Tourniquet is used to stop bleeding. So let's say there's a casualty in the war zone. If fellow soldiers limb blown off, hath katiya gaya ya thodi lat puri blow off ho gayi hai. You know, that person can die within 4 minutes. Why? Because they will lose a lot of blood. A lot of arterial blood can be lost within 4 minutes and a person can die. So in order to save life, we put that tourniquet on and we twist this windlass so tight so we can stop the bleeding. So this is a very important tool. Does anyone volunteer who wants to have experience of tourniquet? Come over, buddy. What's your name? Anil. Big hand for Anil, please. Okay, where do you want to try on your arms or your legs? Legs? Okay, you got it. So, let's say you have pulse. Yes, you do. So tourniquet. Tourniquet is tight, nice, high and tight. So I'm gonna use this part of your leg. So do you mind raising your right foot a little bit? You want to do that? Right foot? Let me know if it's too high. Oh, sure. Let me know if it's too tight, okay? Is it okay?
Yeah.
You sure? Is it good? Too tight? Yeah, I'm just gonna take it off. So, can you stand up? So this is tourniquet. That's how we tie it up. This is windlass, and this is a patch where we put the time. And this tourniquet can be on anyone for half hour. So within half hour, soldier can be rescued, taken to the hospital, and he can be operated, and his life can be saved. But this is the first tool that can help any wounded soldier in the battlefield. And this tourniquet has saved a lot of lives in the battlefield. You okay? Sorry.
Okay, in your schools, even in our school here too, we use something to help if somebody got injured. What we call it?
Thank you.
First aid, yes, first aid kit. Maybe it's part of the first aid. Immediate we solve kar sakte hain. Okay.
So this was a very basic thing that every soldier is trained to perform tourniquet on anyone. But other than that, I was trained to do a lot of other cool stuff as a medic. For example, tracheostomy. So if someone is not breathing, I was trained to perform trachea. If someone has pneumothorax, anyone who knows what pneumothorax or human pneumothorax is? Do we have any doctor here? There you go. So probably you know. Would you like to educate them what it is?
So pneumothorax is basically puncture of the lung. That's what it is. It can be sharp injury, and we have a covering around the lungs, two coverings, and outer covering is basically collapse of the lung. That's the simple form.
There you go. So as a combat medic, I was trained to save the life of soldiers who got pneumothorax or human pneumothorax, and yeah.
Okay, any more questions?
Navdeep, I have a question. Being a girl, do you get equal opportunity?
Yes and no, because like there are some things, and when it comes to lifting, there are guys obviously they're gonna be like, oh, I got it. I always like, no, I got it, because just not being in the army, because I work outside, so they always, I feel like they underestimate you. They think a girl can't lift, but it's not all over. But some guys are like, yeah, if I'm doing it, you're gonna do it too. So it's like, it depends on a person. Any other questions?
What inspired you or drove you to wanting to go to the military?
So one thing, so I was raised in India, right? When I moved here, so I saw these people in uniforms. I was like, even in India, I wanted to be in the military, like Indian military. When I moved here, I was like, I met this girl when I was working. I met this girl, she was in the army, so I was like, I want to do it too. Like, how do I join? So she kind of helped me to like meet other people. That's how I met the recruiters, and I talked to my parents. Obviously, my parents said, "Aap ki kar diyan, like koi aur kaam kar la, mundiyan wale kaam." So then I was like, no, this is really, I want to do it. So I just went for it. I was 17 when I started, and then when I was 18, I joined the military. So since then.
I was born and raised in India. I moved here when I was grown up. I was working with IBM back then, and I was in my mid-30s when I joined Army. So I was contacted by a recruiter. I was like, hey, seems like you work out and you're fit, right? Have you ever thought about joining Army? I was like, yes, when I was young. That's what I considered myself back then, that I'm too old for this. So I started in Army school back in India. So I lived in that Army life, and I have relatives who served in the Indian military. My wife, her father was also in the Indian Army. She's Army brat and Army wife. So, and yeah, sometimes I make fun of her carrying two military dependent cars for the Indian Army and US Army.
I do have two cars.
So coming back to your question, so I was like, okay, is it possible? So when I was here working in the IBM, I was on visa. I was working here as on H-1B. So they told me, hey, we do have a program if you speak certain languages, and you can give it a shot. So Punjabi was one of the language Army was looking for back then. And I was like, okay, I will try. So it took me almost 2 years because that program was a pilot program called MAVNI, and it was open for like 2 to 3 years maybe. It was on and off, like a couple of times, and it took me 2 years to get enlisted, and here I am.
Yeah, there you go. देखो पंजाबी सिक्खी थी ना, तो पंजाबी लैंग्वेज आउंदी उन्हें हेल्प किया इन्हें जॉब लैंड में। इस करके लैंग्वेज ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਿੱਖਣੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਹੈ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰਾਊਡ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। Yes, you can speak, read and write ਪੰਜਾਬੀ। Okay, ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। Thank you, Mr. Bhatia. Thank you, Mandeep Tour. Thanks for coming and joining with us. करा ला के अपना थैंक यू ਵੀਰੇ ਬੋਲੇ ਸੋਨਿਹਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕਲਾਸਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਓ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਮ ਆ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਲਾਇਬ੍ਰੇਰੀ ਰੀਡਿੰਗ ਸਮਰ ਰੀਡਿੰਗ ਤੋਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਲਿਆ ਸੀ they will go to the hall ਦਰਬਾਰ ਹਾਲ with me okay they will stay behind here ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਰੀਡਿੰਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਲਿਆ ਸੀ ਲਾਇਬ੍ਰੇਰੀ ਰੀਡਿੰਗ ਬੁੱਕਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਮਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਾਣਾ ਉਹ ਕਲਾਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਜਾਣਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਟਾਈਮ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਬਾਕੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਟੀਚਰ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਲਾਸ ਤੋਂ ਐਂਜੀਸੀ